This is lesson number 1 of Clutter Bootcamp, how to immediately let go of your clutter-induced shame. All that clutter, actually, it's not your fault. I'm Jess Marcy. I'm your host for the week, and I'm excited for lesson number 1. We always start with this lesson because letting go of the shame is critical to moving forward. The legal disclaimer: all of the information provided in Bootcamp is copyrighted material and it is for personal use only. It may not be downloaded, redistributed, or used for commercial purposes. If you are interested in becoming a professional organizer, a clutter coach, or implementing aspects of what I teach into your current professional organizing business, please contact me. I would love to work with you. um, that's the legal disclaimer at the beginning of all of the lessons. So let's dive right into lesson number 1. Why do we have so much clutter in our homes today? I believe that the reason we are dealing with extreme amounts of clutter is due to the consumption trifecta. This is a term that I created, the consumption trifecta. The consumption trifecta has 3 elements: human nature, advertising, and ease of access. And it is these 3 elements that come together that create a very difficult situation for us in 2022. Human nature. Early human societies had primitive and inefficient ways of collecting resources. So those that thrived were ones that developed high rates of consumption and new innovations for resource gathering. So let's just break this down. Humans have gotten to where they are today because of our incredible ability to consume and gather resources. Hoarding is human nature. It has been an evolutionary advantage for all of time to collect resources. Let me just say that one more time. It is human nature to hoard and collect resources. And that has been the thing that has gotten us so far as a species. It is human nature to collect and to hoard. We are battling this innate instinct to collect things. The difference is that we live in 2022 and we have advertising working against us and ease of access. If you saw this pantry from even 50 years ago, you would think to yourself, wow, these people are doing great. They have collected all of the resources that they need to make it through the winter. They are totally winning. But if you looked at this pantry from today, you would think, oh my gosh, this feels so overwhelming. These people are collecting tons of stuff. They have all sorts of, you would have all sorts of judgment about this picture. But really, there's no difference between this picture and this picture, right? It's instinctual to collect resources to make it through. On top of that, advertising is more advanced than it ever has been ever before. Advertisers know exactly how to get you to look at their products and, even more importantly, how to get you to purchase their products. So advertising is aggressive and fear-based. It points out a problem you probably never knew that you had. It makes you feel bad for having it, and then it sells you a solution. The end result of this twisted process is a lower quality of life, more time spent working, and horrific environmental damage due to overconsumption. We see on average 4,000 to 10,000 advertisements every single day. Now, I thought that this could not possibly be true, so I started counting. I started counting the advertisements that I see when I'm driving. I started counting the advertisements I see on my social media feed, 11 in 1 minute. I started counting advertisements everywhere, at the gas station. Even when I went to my kids' school, there were advertisements in their school. Advertisements don't necessarily look like what we think of as an advertisement. In fact, everything in this pantry is an advertisement for that product. It's advertising the company that made the product. It's advertising the key features of the product. There's advertisements absolutely everywhere. So if we're seeing 4,000 to 10,000 advertisements every single day, that means that between 4,000 and 10,000 times every single day, we have to decide if we are going to purchase something. And because advertisements and advertising is so much more advanced than it ever has been in the past, it's much harder to overcome those triggers because companies, corporations, advertisers, marketers know exactly what triggers a purchase. They know exactly what to write, where to place the product, how to get you to buy it immediately. So this is really an uphill battle with our human nature and the sheer volume of advertisements that we're seeing every single day. The organizing industry is part of the the advertising problem. So when it comes to home organization, we're constantly being sold this idea that we can purchase organization. We can create more space. If we just buy more things and bring more stuff into our homes, we will magically get organized. The secret to organizing is not to create more storage, it's to live within the space that you have. If you purchased this case of shoe boxes, 20 shoe boxes, 20 clear shoe bins that come with a lid, so that's 40 individual items, you're bringing 40 things into your house and increasing the overall volume or inventory of stuff that you have, which ultimately you have to deal with in the future. So the secret to organization is not purchasing boxes and bins. And I love this Container Store ad, pushing the limits of what one closet can hold. The Container Store, where space comes from. You cannot create more space in your house. So let's just get that out in the open right now. You have X number of living space volume. Your total house has a volume. You cannot create more space unless you put an addition onto your house. You cannot create more space in your house. You can only take up more space in your house. So we're just being advertised with these ideas, right? It's going back to this here, where advertising is pointing out a problem you never knew you had, and it's making you feel bad for it and selling you a solution. The problem here that they're pointing out that you never knew you had is that you don't have enough space, but actually you do have enough space. The solution is not to create more space. That's not even possible. But that's what we're seeing and what we're up against every single day when it comes to organization. The third part of the consumption trifecta that is really another element that's difficult to overcome is ease of access. It is so easy for things to flow into our homes today. We don't need to even be awake to purchase something. Parasomatic shopping is a recognized sleep disorder. We shop in our sleeps. We shop all the time. We don't need to have cash. We don't need to have transportation to a store. We don't need to have anything to make a purchase and have stuff come into our homes. Stuff is flowing into our homes without any barriers all day long. So, knowing that it is human nature to hoard, advertising is more advanced than it's ever been before, and it's easier. We've removed every single barrier for things coming into our homes. Knowing that we're battling these three massive parts of the consumption trifecta, I'm asking you, I'm inviting you to release judgment, shame, and embarrassment. Are you ready to release the judgment you have towards yourself, the shame you might feel, or the embarrassment that you have about your clutter? Because truly, it is not your fault. It is not your fault. We were never raised to live in a day and age where there was so much stuff so easily accessible to us all the time, 24 hours a day. And we need to both undo what we have learned about our relationship with things and learn a new skill set and new mindset shifts that are appropriate for this day and age that we live in right now, which was totally different 30 or 40 years ago. So this is a blink of an evolutionary eye here, right? Little blink in time, evolutionarily speaking. So let's just go ahead and let go of that judgment, that shame, and that embarrassment. It's not necessary. It's not helping us, and it's not valid. The interesting thing about consuming so much is that it actually doesn't make us happier. So we're also sold this idea that the solution to our happiness lies in a thing. But in reality, we know the more stuff we have, that does not equal more happiness at all. In fact, what we tend to find is the more stuff we have, the more responsibilities we have, the more situations we have to deal with, the more we have to search to find things, it actually makes us less happy to have more stuff. So we know that intuitively, but we're still battling those 10,000 advertisements every single day telling us that we can just buy happiness, we can buy organization, we can buy whatever it is that we need. And I like to put data behind everything that I share. So if you look at the emotional and financial impact of our overconsumption over time, you'll see that when we've been asking people how happy they feel for many years, and happiness has remained relatively constant, even though our income and economy has been going up, right? So even though income has been increasing per person over time, happiness has not increased. Again, if you look at the chart on the right, you'll see the green line is loans, the blue line is consumption, and the pink line is savings. So even as we're earning more money, we're earning more money, but we're taking out more loans to support our consumption, and our savings have been dropping. So even though we're earning more, we're not saving more. We're just continuing to purchase and take out more loans. So there's really, when we look at the data, it supports the fact that we're not happier and we're not in a better situation than we were in the past just because we have more stuff. So are you ready to prioritize your mental health over the stuff in your life? Because what it comes down to is really your sanity versus the things. And it's time to prioritize your sanity. It is so much more important than any single item that you own. Are you ready for your first action step? The basic concept that I teach right in the beginning, and this is the concept that underlies all of decluttering and home organization. Without this concept, you can't move forward. And anytime that you're stuck, this is the concept to come back to every single time, and that is flow. I want you to think of a toilet. I have a toilet analogy. It's designed to make you remember it. So if you have a clogged toilet, you would not use that toilet. You would not add any more material to that toilet before you dealt with the clog, right? So we would unclog the toilet before using it again. I want you to think about your house as a clog. So the clutter in your home is a clog. And the first step to dealing with this clog is to not add more stuff to your home. Just like the toilet. We're not going to add more stuff to the toilet before we deal with the clog. We're not going to add more stuff to our home before we deal with the clutter, the clog in our homes. So this is the concept of flow. The amount coming into your home cannot exceed the amount going out of your home. If it does, if there is more coming in than more going out, if there's more coming in than going out, then you will have a clog. You will have clutter. So decluttering is the absolute first step to home organization. You cannot get organized without decluttering first. So we're going to rebalance your house. And that starts with stopping the flow of items into your house. So your lesson for today, your homework for today, your action step number 1 is to commit to stopping the flow of stuff coming into your house for the next 5 days. That's it. Stop the flow in. That is the new phrase that is going to stick in your head for a long, long time. Stop the flow in. Can you commit to bringing nothing into your house for this whole entire week of boot camp? Now, I know we always get the question, what about food? So yes, fresh produce or like essentials like medications, of course, you can purchase those and bring them in. But I want you to think about also eating down your pantry, because most homes have a lot of food in your pantry. That's part of the clutter. This is one way that you can also address your clutter. Shop in your own pantry, shop in your own house, eat down your food, only bring in absolute essentials, but commit to stopping the flow of items into your house for the next 5 days. Ask the people that you live with if they can make this commitment also. This is the first step to dealing with clutter, is stopping the flow of stuff coming into your house. The awesome thing when you stop the flow of stuff coming into your house is that you start saving your money. So you're not buying stuff, so you're saving money. So if you can start to begin tracking how much money you're saving, it can be a little challenging to figure this out. But anytime you feel like going shopping this week, think about how much money you would spend at the store, and that's how much money you saved by not shopping. So start to track how much money you're not spending, because it's really awesome to see your savings increase and no stuff coming into your house. And then the other part of your homework today is to support somebody in our Facebook group. One of the key elements that makes the work that we do, helping people declutter and get organized, one of the key elements that makes it different from what everyone else does is that we build incredible communities that support you every single step of the way. So inside of Clutter Bootcamp, I invite you to be part of this movement. Community crushes clutter. Reach out to somebody, say, awesome work, say, I feel what you're going through. I've experienced that myself. Just give them a thumbs up, like their post, help each other move forward. That also helps you tackle your own clutter. Supporting somebody else in a similar situation is one way that you can increase your own motivation to tackle clutter. So support somebody in our Facebook group, stop the flow of items coming into your house, and start tracking how much money you're saving. That's it. That's day one. I'm super excited that you're here, and I can't wait for day two tomorrow.